Episode 4. The door opens. No one really talks about what a curse is, not in the horror movie way, not some words screamed by a dying tantric or scribbled on a scroll. A real curse? It's a loop. A closed door that people keep opening, thinking they're the first, and something behind that door keeps waiting, patient, hungry, lonely. When Arjun found the corridor, he didn't go in right away. He left, stayed up all night, packed, booked a flight home. But when he got to the airport, the gate didn't exist. Not on the board, not in the terminal, not on his ticket. He checked the flight number, the time, everything, and suddenly, none of it was right. The airline said the flight wasn't real, never had been. Arjun tried calling friends, no signal. Every call failed, no internet. His phone showed the right date, but somehow, it felt wrong. He went back to the lodge. His key didn't work. The receptionist didn't recognize him. There were no records of his stay. He wasn't stuck in the fort, not yet, but somehow, the fort had started following him. He took the mirror from his bag, the small one he had carried, and in the reflection, the room behind him wasn't the lodge. It was stone, dustless, the same narrow corridor, the same one behind the wall. He turned around. Normal? He looked in the mirror again. The corridor. But this time, he wasn't alone. A woman stood at the far end, dressed in Rajasthani royal silk, skin too pale, eyes too wide, and no reflection, only him, watching himself, standing still, unable to look away. He dropped the mirror. It didn't break. Of course it didn't. The next morning he went back to the fort. The door was still there, still cracked, still open just enough. He stepped inside. The corridor was short. No torches, no obvious structure, just silence. And then faintly, footsteps. Not his, not boots, bare feet, moving lightly across stone. And behind it, music, old, warbled. A woman singing a lullaby in a language older than the region itself. He kept going. At the end of the corridor was the room. It had no windows. The air was still. Dust floated in perfect suspension, like nothing had moved in centuries. In the centre of the room stood a mirror, tall, framed in wood blackened by fire, cracked through the centre, but it showed everything clearly. He looked into it. At first it showed only him. Then, behind him, Anaya. She looked the same as she had in the last tape. Tired, still, unblinking. She mouthed something. At first he thought it was his name, but it wasn't. It was one word. Run! He turned. Nothing. Empty room. He turned back. Now the mirror didn't show the room. It showed the fort, but the fort was full. People in Mughal-era dress, musicians, guards, a feast, dancers spinning through the courtyard, and in the centre, her, the dancer, the one with the anklets. She turned toward him and smiled. The others kept dancing, kept eating, kept playing instruments. But none of them were alive, not really. Their eyes were glass, movements just slightly off, like puppets repeating the same steps, like they'd done it forever. He looked back at the dancer. She'd raised her hand, beckoning him forward, and he felt it, that pull, the loop, the curse. If he stepped through the mirror, he wouldn't die. He'd just be part of it, forever. That's the choice. It always is. You don't get attacked, you get invited. And Arjun, he stepped back, took out his phone, started recording, not for views, not for proof, for memory. Because if the mirror showed the past, maybe it also showed the truth. Maybe his sister wasn't gone. Maybe she was still inside, trapped. So he said one thing quietly, "Let me in," but let her go. The mirror flickered. Once, then again. The music stopped, all of it, every dancer, every puppet, frozen, and the glass shattered. Arjun woke up outside the fort, lying on the ground, alone, no door behind him. The wall was sealed, whole. He looked at his phone, dead, but in his pocket, her pendant, Anaya's, the one she wore in the last clip. He never saw her again, but sometimes, in mirrors, just for a second he sees her, not trapped, just watching, and in the background, faint music, distant, but not cruel, just sad. And maybe that's the closest thing to a good ending Bhangarh will ever allow.